I wanted to do one of my reflection vlogs on the cliche, one man's trash is another man's treasure. As with most cliches, there's an element of truth to this, but it's not 100% true. It is, it can happen that you can be going through someone's trash, and amongst the trash, find something of great value. It's possible. It's possible, but it's not necessarily the case all the time. For the most part, your trash is going to be another man's trash. For the most part, the idea, I guess, behind this cliche is reusing, repurposing. There's that show built around repurposing things. Flea market flip, that's what it's called, where you buy something, you clean it up, and I don't know, paint it and do stuff to it, and then sell it for twice as much as you paid for it. And so you're making something treasured out of something that someone else was not throwing away. It wasn't their trash. It was just cheaper so the idea is repurposing. You turn something cheaper into something more valuable, but it's not trash into treasure. Now, I've heard several people comment about this, how it's not good to give away junk. If it's your trash, it's not a blessing to other people. Actually, sometimes it can even be a curse, because if it's your trash and you donate it to someone, like for instance a thrift store or Goodwill or something, you donate trash to them, they have to sort out the stuff that's sellable from the stuff that really is trash. And it's a curse, because they just have to throw it away. I mean, you just... when I was a regular... when I worked pretty regularly at the distribution center, the thrift store for our church, I saw this happen firsthand. We survive on donations of merchandise. The thrift store, the whole purpose of the thrift store is to bless people. That's actually kind of a secondary purpose, to actually bless people with stuff. It's to sell stuff at a pretty cheap and expensive price to help pay for our food ministry. Because I'm not a regular volunteer in that building anymore, except for on Fridays when we actually do the food outreach. We have a little worship service, we give out food and clothing. Sometimes we get out stuff, but usually it's just thrift store. They can go in there and they can buy this stuff for fairly expensive, But I saw it firsthand, the trash, people giving trash. There was this one guy, I'm just going to use an example. He would donate all the time, and I'm sure his heart felt good because he was given to a good cause. But he was given trash. And, sometimes they were actually, like, black trash bags tied, and you open it up, and all it is like, wrappers and wet newspapers and dog cat litter and it really sometimes really was trash. But he would do a lot of donations because his job, it was something, he flipped houses or run rental property or something. He would clean out, like somebody's garage, and he'd bring boxes of stuff and leave up there. Sometimes these boxes had water damage. Sometimes they were just whatever somebody left in the house, pretty much. Sometimes, of course, we'd have to sort it, and some of it, going through a sort, most of it would be thrown away. This one time, the kids were sorting. I say kids, they weren't young in age, they were young in mind. We have a group of developmentally mentally disabled adults who work there, so I call them kids because, well, they act like kids. Their task is to sort clothes a lot of times, and they, put on hangers. And they got this one box. We thought it was clothes. The first few inches were clothes piled on top of the box. You open it, and then you know what it was? It was old porn. Nasty old porn. Like VHS tapes and and magazines from like the 80s and 70s. I mean, they're nasty old porn. And you see one of these little boys, because he is like, oh, booby, you know? Oh, gosh. That, we put a stop to that. We told him, don't donate stuff anymore, you know, unless you've gone through it, because we don't know. It was just somebody's cast-off porn that was in their garage that he brought up there. He didn't even know what it was. He just puts the box in his truck and then puts the box on our dock in there. You don't donate trash. It's not a blessing anymore. I'm going to bless other people. Now, what I'm about to say will sound really weird, and I know we're in financially crunching times, and I don't have a lot of money, but if you were independently wealthy, if I had a lot of money, what I would do is actually buy stuff to donate. If I had $10, you know, that was extra, instead of going out to eat, you know, and getting myself a fattening lunch or something, go buy couple t-shirts, couple undershirts from, I don't know, Walmart or something. Donate those to a shelter or Salvation Army, or because when you're needy, and when you're down in your luck, you might be desperate enough to put on the t-shirt that has the nasty pit stains that's half worn through. You might be. But I don't think you should give that away. If you, who have the shirt, this crappy shirt, give it to somebody else, that's trash. You're not blessing the person. You're just like giving them your trash. They're worth more than that. If you, being you, so I'm pointing at the camera, if you don't want it, if you wouldn't wear it, don't count on somebody else to wear it. You know, like, people need shoes. Granted, yeah, you need shoes, but your holy shoes that you've worn to mow the lawn for 3 years, that you're gonna get rid of and start wearing the other shoes, throw them in the trash. That's what they are, they're trash. Don't donate them to someone else, because it's just gonna be junk to them. Sure, maybe somebody somewhere would really love to have shoes, even if they had holes in them, but, you know, more than likely, it's just gonna be trash. So, the cliche, bottom line, one man's trash is another man's treasure. It's not 100% accurate. Can be. I mean, you can find value, but leave the choice up to the person. Don't give somebody something that you would throw away. If it's junk it. You know, trash can or hole. You know, burn it. Whatever you do with your trash, don't donate to somebody else. They don't need your crap. They got their own crap.